What up? What up? What up? We up in here, people. What's happening? It's your boy. We finna check out your boy Anton Daniels. The after hours. This is his after hours spot. Talk about the Paul Pierce. He's explaining about the white women are more submissive. So let's see. Is he true? I'm all ears.
Paul Pierce recently went viral for basically saying that athletes, well, he explained why athletes preferred white women. And so I am going to share that with you now. And then you guys can give me your take.
I'm probably going to sit this one out.
Nope, you can't sit it out. This is what
I'm standing 10 toes for all
this
the
is what he had to say.
I don't understand my language.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll be talking, they be like, "What?"
Do you feel like, why do you feel like men, especially NBA players, get with white women? Is it because they're easy, quote unquote?
I got some theories, but I really want to hear it from him.
I do too. I want to hear it too.
I honestly think that maybe is they appreciate maybe more and they apologize more.
Listen,
They're
I'm
nice,
scared.
man.
Hold on.
Yes, I mean, you know.
I had an interview with
He
her.
said y'all mean as fuck.
Don't
Y'all
mind being held
unappreciative.
accountable.
I'm so scared of this, y'all, because I had an interview with Columbus.
All right, so that is generally what he said. He also went on to say that he only has exclusively dated black women, and ex-wife was also black. But his theory was that NBA players and athletes and men of certain stature prefer white women because they're more accountable, they apologize more, and all of that other type of stuff. So I'm gonna just do a popcorn style.
I want
What
they
do you
gonna
guys
say.
think? And you agree or disagree with?
being the flip flopper that I am. I just started recently dating the black girl chicks within the last 3 years. And previous, I dealt with Latinas and white women. And in my years on this earth, a white woman has never left me. If the relationship didn't work out, it was 1,000% my fault. But the 3 black women that I talked to over the last over some bullshit. Like I don't, and I'm not the dude who like That's why I'm not with the white women because I want like a big black woman act like that, and it's hard to find.
That's crazy.
And like I said, it's my fault.
But
like,
true.
Like they're fun, they're easy sex, but like I want a pretty black woman to just fucking act right. And that is why I'm not married because I get to find that in a black woman.
That's crazy
Slimmy,
to
what do
hear.
you
That's
think?
crazy to hear. That's crazy to hear. I wonder what the black women. That's crazy to hear. They finna fight back. They finna fight back at this. I guarantee you. They're not gonna take him what he's saying. They're gonna fight back against it. Instead of hearing what he's saying and taking to what he's saying and his truth, they're gonna fight against it. They're gonna say, well, no, I don't think all black women is like that. Watch.
I don't give a fuck what color they are. Women are women. They don't want to be held accountable.
Now that's a fact. Okay.
They're going to tell you the truth if they want to or not.
Wait till the women talk. I want to hear what the women got to say.
Color their skin is. Like, if they want to be around you, they're going to act a certain way. They're going to act cool. They're going to put on a show. But mostly women are women. And I've dealt with women of all kind.
That's a fact.
And women are women.
They always find a fucking problem.
None. Now, there might be some cultural differences where I'm not getting to cleanliness and all that shit. Because there's some cultural differences. It's like, I don't know about that. Women are women. I don't give a fuck about what the color of their skin is. man, they're gonna be emotional. You know what I'm saying? Then they're not gonna apologize until it's too late. They're not gonna realize what's going on until it's late. And it does not matter what color they are. I'm sorry. I think that's people trying to fill the narrative so they can go out and date a certain type of woman. That's just me personally.
Have you ever had a white woman?
I've dated women of every kind. I've dated Asian. Yes, I've dated white women. I've dated them. I don't see a difference.
They're understood.
I think the problem is the type of men that are approached. I think it's men. I think it's on the code of creed of a woman. If you approach, it depends on what woman. If you're approaching everyone like you just want to, you're gonna get certain results.
I think
you're gonna get certain results. It don't matter on
he lying
on
about
creed.
He date all women. Look at
he not gonna. It's ignorant to say that women from different cultures are all
the same. That's what I'm saying. You lying, bro.
Huh?
You basically did say
you said
that.
all are the same. Women from cultures, but you said they're all the same. Like life.
No, I'm talking about the functionality. I'm speaking to the functionality of women. The functionality of women is the same.
Don't try to clean it
now,
up.
when we get to the culture, that's where you get different things. But ultimately, women will be emotional. A lot of women, they're just not accountable. I think you think women are the same, but people want to create narratives, so they try to say this type of woman is better than this type of woman.
Not better. Not better.
Women, men
it's
are
different characteristics for different groups, my nigga.
It depends on how you raised them, basically, for real. If you raised to be a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. I don't think that's based on none of that shit.
Well, you said it's based on how you raised. White people raise women different than
different.
black
That's lying right there, bro. Yeah.
Sure, you just said.
Well, you just said it was. I was just words. I didn't make that up.
No, I'm saying.
Bro, I'm not trying to argue with you right now. It's just so that all women is not true.
What do you feel is different?
Their experiences molds them, and then makes different how they act and how they engage with men. Their experiences makes them different.
Okay, I mean, I need you on why women from race are different. I'm saying, like, what's the difference? Have you experienced difference?
White people in large, they just have families with no fathers in the home, or is that a black people thing?
What do you mean? That don't matter about. You don't want to. What the fuck?
I
don't race.
Stop it, bro.
People that don't have a single pair of homes. What are you talking about, Quentin?
Boy, stupid.
But it's mostly black people. And when the father's not in the home, these women.
I think the thing is that in the black community, we embrace it more. And we put
so that would mean it's different. So that would mean it's different.
Which is why our women are different. Like most women would like when they come to the world. That it molds the women, how they're raised, what their experience. It looks different.
In what way?
If a white girl from the suburbs and I get a white black chick from the ghetto, it looks different because where they came from.
That's cultural. Okay, so you get a white woman from the suburbs and a black girl from the suburbs.
Sound crazy.
What's the difference?
Her home, I was raised.
What's the difference? I'm asking you.
I hate with you, bro.
Because you don't like this. You don't want to make substantial arguments. You can't just say blanket statements.
You're the king of not substantial arguments.
Bro, I just put down everything, my dude. What are you talking about? I'm asking you, what are the differences? You just said a black woman, a white woman in the suburbs, and a black woman in the ghetto. You know they're going to be pieces.
Why are you the difference then?
A white woman in Shirley Park is going to look the same woman in the suburbs?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks for having me out. I'm coming to show because you showed me love, and I don't get those that support. So I figured I'd kind of real quick. So what I'm about to say does not represent either of the panel, so I'm just going to be honest and blunt about what I'm about to say because it might be offensive. The reality is retarded, okay? And the reality of things, the reality about this that you guys need to understand when I say that most women are retarded is that software is always the same. The hardware is what's the skin color, the culture, whatever. The hardware is always the same. The software is always the same. Might be different. So the only difference, right? Sometimes is cultural situations, background, the way they grew up, etc. But they behave and what they're trying to do. But then all women are the same thing, which is do what they can get based on their education level, socioeconomic level, where they stand socioeconomically, and different races and different cultures obviously go about it in ways. We get a lot of black women, they're attracted to the type, they're attracted to men that exude masculine characteristics, though they might be more, reminiscent of like being a criminal because these are traits that we look for in a lot of situations. Or, the white girl's looking for a guy who has some money and some status and has some bad tendencies, but, has status alongside it. So every race goes different ways, but the reality is women are all looking for the same type of guy. The way they go about it might be different because our standards of what one's race is, just so happens about it in different ways, but the reality is that women are always going to follow me.
Do you think that it changes based off of culture or race? So like, for example, Paul here is saying that I love NBA players. My opinion of it, when Paul Pierce said that a lot of NBA players or white men, I think a lot of NBA players I've met is just goofy. Like a lot of them are young, a lot of them haven't necessarily enough. A lot of them get resources, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they understand the dynamics of women. A lot of times, just get with women based off of what's available, and a lot of them are at their hotel rooms or a lot of the hotel before they even show up. Do you think that cultural differences also yield different results when it comes to women, and just athletes, or white men in general? Do you think cultural differences or the plays a role in whether or not men are attracted to them, or do you just culture by men and women?
I mean, it's just due to different things. Like, if we're going to talk about NBA players, right, for example, just as the first one. So a lot of these guys first, when you're in college, a lot of the times you're in a white dominant, situation where you're an athlete, you're Division I athlete. I could say some experience myself. Like, the women are going to just grab towards the D1. And then when you're a basketball player or football player at a Division I school, you're kind of at the pecking order from a perspective. So what ends up happening is did come and say, you were the guy, then you go to a big Division I school. You're not seeing Shikwa and LaQuisha anymore. You're seeing, Becky and a bunch of other from so like, your thing switches. And men, we like variety. So since men like something different that I'm not used to, I want to go, the ones I've had times is you guys will get a girl and that'll kind of follow them along. And then, they might have that chick as a woman that was with them there, or they might find once it's a league, whatever. But what I realize is, men, it just comes down to variety. I think men care so much about, everyone has their preferences, of course. But I think what most is like, it's going to be a pain in the ass, because a lot of times when men make money and they acquire that money, and first thing they do, their problem, right? Because that kind of money, you don't get that low status, and want to come back and deal with a woman that's going to deal with you. The mistake is, you know what Chelsea, you dumb whore. Like, don't think be about fight the world. Last thing I want to do is one of the misconceptions that like, you don't want a woman around you, and this is like propaganda from like the 2000s, saying I want a woman who wants her own independent woman, whatever, would not please lie, have one thing and make earn on her own. For literally the that's what happens. Like everybody. What's he doing now? We're 3 girlfriends that he saw. This whole independent woman thing, like Beyonce. Oh yeah, I want to know in a minute. What's she doing? She's still yeah. It's all a lie. I think it's really important for people to kind of deprogram from like what's the community. I want to find independent woman and any stuff. That's not what men are looking for. Like and recipes to Kevin Samuels, because he brought this to light more, especially in the black community. Kind of like trying to deprogram with the indoctrination of like your title. Men really don't care about the money and resources they acquire. They like care about. So, that's kind of what it comes down to. I think a lot of it comes down to the women are available. The many access to women. They have more money, so obviously going to put them in a position with these women. And then just really what it comes down to is who's available and who's going to ask. If these things up, a lot of the time they're going to chick, is what I've realized.
Yeah, I agree with that. The women that are being upset that his statement is true, and a lot of guys are themselves. Like women that they're really available to once they get and they become more successful.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, man. I can't tell you something. Right? I don't know what you don't know. Right? Like, let's say you're growing up, right? And it's like, rad women are kind of for edges, and like, you should be excited. This is go with it for a bit, make some money and status, and then you date an Asian girl. She ain't talking back to you. She rubbed without you asking. She's food. She's bringing Chinese stuff like to the grocery store. Next time you hurry and buy no more. Like, this is kind of nice. One thing, like, okay, it's nice. Like, I've never experienced it before. And when you get this different treatment, you're like, damn, I can't go back to the now. I'm not trying to argue. I like women argue with me. And this is why it's happening sometimes with guys. Is like, you don't know what you don't know until you experience it. When they get the status, you can't go backwards. So that's why a lot of times these guys in status, like you just put around women that kind of know just off of the impact of status and income, the fuck up it is. So we're just stuff. When they know they have more status, they got more money, and they could tell you, they're gonna do it. Once you reach status, women have to buy it. It's fantastic.
Well, guys are get finesse. So, like for example, I know that it's a lot of women make adjustment because they know they're around the side. And you jump into it. I just got this one last question. What guys that want to finesse?
That's the biggest happens like in this year, celebrities every single you might tell me that like they produce stuff, especially like in these girls, like it's a cool thing now. Get these e-thoughts. So that's the biggest problem for guys that have influence. And that's why it's so important to be like real aware, especially status. Like you have to get more on point because you have more to lose. I mean, what's going on right now? This is why, right? But he should have kind of known that this chick, OF girl. Because I guarantee, like, check this, you offer a girl $10 million, most girls would have taken that deal. You know what it is? Keep her team and get it out. She's gonna burn down the house with everything. Because the vitriol is going at him and how she's trying to public and just making a process. Why? The fact that she's going so hard tells me he made some like, you're gonna be the one, I love you, blah, blah, blah. They were long-term relationships, so they probably had some of their talks. So I think, like, what's going on with that situation is he made some promises, he's not keeping them, and now she's pissed off.
I was raising my hand to the I get finessed.
Oh, you get finessed.
I haven't.
Every single guy has taken it out, whether you were nice, did it, you courted too much, got your friends on. Every guy been finessed by women, and it's good because because like women, that's like they're notice, especially from coaching. I tell them, don't do that. They'll still do it anyway. And then they'll come to me and say, damn, you were right. And then less now the burn, I can you weren't one thing for you to tell them, it's another thing for them out as well. And it makes it much trouble. Guys, they gotta get burned. They can learn from us and make mistakes is most have to make a mistake to learn rule.
All right, we in the building. up in here, ladies. A round of applause to you. All up in this piece. Ready for that late night tap in. We in here. What's up with guys? Maybe you getting a good day night thus far. We're going to shout it as we always do, ladies and gentlemen. Let me shout outs to some of the regulars before I do my thing. Real quick, let's see. Joel C. and the Jasmine. We got Nigel Ivy, Raheem Moss, Big Brandy, Zuri, Dante 66, F. Trey, Cicely, F. Chuck, Kitty, Lily, Tia, Mike Q, Renee, Powell, the Tether, Nate, the NBA, Badass, Brother Rock, Ishmael. We got Mel, Solana, the build, Brother Ernest, Shane, and so many others. Shout out to everybody in the building. Much like you guys. You guys check out my live YouTube broadcast. We're chopping up some very good game on the YouTube broadcast. You can check that out on my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to get some of the calls from the family early, so y'all stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. You know, people are still talking about. There's a video of this nurse who was like 59 years old, and she don't like Black America. Black Americans need to stay in their lane. It's a whole bunch of real weird stuff. It's not weird, but we've been telling about folks for the longest about these people. A lot of the medical industry that have this thing for foundational Americans. We've had several people working in the medical industry with tethers calling here. I don't know how it was. Uganda, Kenya, and I know she was in Arizona. And she worked as a nurse, and she trying to get that she does stuff to NBA patients. A lot of this ain't foundational Black Americans. People run around for a time. These people in different industries, but they're vulnerable foundational Black Americans. Not even vulnerable, yes. People working around our institutions, the medical industry, the educational industry. I've heard a lot of heavens working in universities about foundational Black American students. So this has been going on for a minute. A lot of people just secretly and openly harboring this disdain for us. I also got the one out there in Pennsylvania. I always get into talking about that Nigerian woman who was a professor at the university out there, and we pulled her tweets of her constantly us psychotists, people teaching at schools, teaching our students. And this has been going on for a long time. A lot of this tethered disdain. And we need to start delineating from this. Now people want to talk about